The 60s were a golden era for American muscle, and some of these cars not only dominated the streets, but left rivals in the dust at the drag strip. But what if I told you the fastest muscle cars of the 60s weren't always the most obvious choices? Which one could actually hit a quarter mile in record time? And how close did they come to beating the best? Stick around to find out, because the fastest of the 60s might just surprise you. Number 10. The 1968 Shelby GT500 KR, 14 seconds. In 1968, Shelby decided to take the GT500 up a notch by swapping in the new 428 Cobra jet engine, which was a beast. But what made Carroll Shelby jump at the chance to rename the GT500? Well, it all started when Lee Iacocca, Ford's general manager, mentioned to Carroll Shelby that Chevrolet was planning to call their new Corvette the King of the Road. Carroll, always ready to pounce on an opportunity, immediately saw this as his chance. He quickly asked his lawyer if the name King of the Road was already taken. When they found out it wasn't, Carroll wasted no time and renamed the GT500 the GT500 KR, with KR standing for King of the Road. They even trademarked the name. This model became incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors, making it one of the most iconic Mustangs. Fast forward to 2007, and Shelby revived the GT500 KR at the New York International Auto Show, 2 years after the standard GT500 was introduced. This new version came with serious performance upgrades, including an extra 14 horsepower, a fresh suspension setup, and a lightweight carbon fiber hood. It also featured forged aluminum wheels and custom tires. Built at Shelby's headquarters in Las Vegas, these models were available in 2008 and 2009. Then, for Shelby American's 60th anniversary, they decided to pay tribute to the original King of the Road by creating a limited number of GT500 KR Mustangs based on the 2020 to 2022 GT500 models. These modern GT500 KRs were beasts in their own right, boasting over 900 horsepower, a vented dry carbon fiber hood, one-piece forged wheels, a Borla exhaust, upgraded suspension, and a reworked interior. It's amazing how the King of the Road legacy continues to live on in these modern machines. Number 9. The 1969 Ford Mustang Mach I, 14 seconds. The 1969 Ford Mustang Mach I was born from Ford's desire to deliver a powerful yet stylish muscle car option, blending performance with looks. Introduced in August 1968 as part of the 1969 lineup, the Mach I quickly became popular, overshadowing the GT model and leading to its discontinuation after 1969. What made the Mach I special was that it wasn't just about engine power. It was a full package of visual and performance features that set it apart from the standard Mustang. Only available in the sports roof fastback body style, the Mach I package included a matte black hood with hood pins, a prominent hood scoop, competition suspension, and distinctive styling elements like chrome exhaust tips, a pop-open gas cap, and unique wheels fitted with Goodyear polyglass tires. Inside, it featured a deluxe interior, with simulated teakwood accents and high-back sport bucket seats for that extra touch of class and comfort. Under the hood, the Mach I had serious power options. The base model came with a 351 cubic inch Windsor V8, paired with a 3-speed manual transmission. However, buyers could upgrade to more powerful engines, including a 390 V8 or even the beastly 428 Cobra Jet V8, which also had an option for the Super Cobra Jet drag pack for maximum performance. Depending on the engine, you could opt for a 4-speed manual or an automatic transmission, with features like reinforced shock towers, heavy-duty suspension, and thicker sway bars to handle the power, especially in the big block models. One of the Mach I's standout features was the optional shaker hood scoop, a functional air intake that shook along with the engine, offering both a unique look and enhanced air intake. For those who chose the powerful 428 Cobra Jet or Super Cobra Jet, the package included upgraded traction options, with axle ratios geared toward racing performance. Notably, Mach I's legacy was boosted by a publicity run at the Bonneville Salt Flats in 1968, where drivers Mickey Thompson and Danny Ungaius set multiple speed and endurance records. This solidified the Mach I as more than just a pretty face, proving it was a high-performance car worthy of the Mustang's racing heritage. Number 8. The 1967 Chevrolet Corvette L88, 13.5 seconds. This version of the Corvette is insanely rare, with only 20 ever made, which makes it one of the most valuable and sought-after models to this day. But why exactly is it considered the ultimate holy grail for Corvette fans? At the heart of the L88 was a massive 427 cubic inch big block engine, which Chevy rated at 430 horsepower. But that's a pretty low figure. In reality, this engine was pumping out closer to 560 horsepower when tested on a dyno. This powerhouse ran on 103-octane racing fuel, so you'd only find fuel like that at special service stations. To handle all this power, the L88 came with a 4-speed manual transmission nicknamed the Rock Crusher for how tough it was. The L88 also came loaded with features to keep it racing ready. It had a heavy-duty suspension to handle sharp turns at high speeds, plus J56 heavy-duty and J50 power brakes for reliable stopping power. Other goodies included an aluminum radiator for cooling, a small flywheel for quick acceleration, and a Holley carburetor to feed the engine all the fuel it needed. With positraction and center-lock alloy wheels, this Corvette was built for the track. But the L88 didn't just look mean, it had a racing heritage, taking part in competitions like the 24 Hours of Daytona and Le Mans. But because these cars were put through their paces, finding an L88 in good condition today is nearly impossible. Most of these rare Corvettes ended up with major bodywork or missing original parts, making an intact one incredibly valuable. Number 7. The 1969 Hurst Oldsmobile 442, 13.7 seconds. The 1969 Hurst Oldsmobile 442 was proof that even a traditional brand like Oldsmobile could let loose when it came to muscle cars. As the muscle car era got wilder in the late 60s, Oldsmobile embraced this trend with a touch of mad scientist flair. Their ads featured Dr. Oldsmobile in a lab coat, hinting at the bold engineering going on behind the scenes. And at the heart of it all was Jack Doc Watson, head of research at Hurst Performance Products, who helped bring to life some of Oldsmobile's most powerful cars. Oldsmobile's partnership with Hurst resulted in the impressive Hurst Olds 442, building off their success with the 68 model. In 1969, the 442 model returned with a few new options. Its 400 cubic inch V8 offered 350 horsepower with a manual transmission and 325 with an automatic. Olds also introduced the W30 and W32 performance packages, with the W30's force air intake reaching up to 360 horsepower with a 4-speed. The 1969 Hurst Olds got a bold new look, swapping last year's silver and black for a striking white and fire frost gold striped design. Its unique hood featured a dual-scoop air intake that boosted engine performance, along with a huge rear spoiler that added downforce for stability at high speeds. Under the hood was the powerful 455 cubic inch V8 engine, outfitted with Hurst's W30 components and a high-performance cam. Although slightly detuned from the 68 version, this beast still packed plenty of punch, especially with the Hurst dual-gate shifter. Standard features included a heavy-duty suspension, front disc brakes, and wide polyglass tires on 7-inch wheels. Oldsmobile produced just under 1,000 Hurst Olds 442s in 1969, with a few rare convertibles among them. This model marked the end of an era for pure muscle in the Hurst Olds line, and it did so in style, as Dr. Oldsmobile would have wanted. Number 6. The 1969 Plymouth GTX, 13.5 seconds. The 1969 Plymouth GTX was all about combining muscle with a touch of luxury. The Road Runner sibling grabbed the spotlight that year, even scoring Motor Trend's Car of the Year title thanks to its impressive power and the addition of a convertible to the lineup. Though Plymouth made only small tweaks to the grille and tail, the Road Runner's popularity surged, with over 84,000 hardtops, coupes, and convertibles sold. Meanwhile, GTX sales were a bit quieter, with 14,902 hardtops and only 700 convertibles finding buyers. In terms of cost, a Road Runner coupe started at $2,945, while the base GTX hardtop was a bit pricier at $3,416. Engine choices added to the options. The Road Runner started with a 335 horsepower 383 V8, with the choice to upgrade to a 375 horsepower Super Commando 440 V8, the punchy 390 horsepower 6-pack 440, or even the top-of-the-line 426 HEMI, at a steep $813 upgrade. The GTX came standard with the 375 horsepower 440, but could also be upgraded to the 6-pack or HEMI. For example, the HEMI-equipped GTX cost about $4,362 when tested by Car and Driver. Performance-wise, the GTX with the HEMI engine could do 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.1 seconds, with a quarter-mile time of 13.54 seconds at 105.14 miles per hour. The base 440 V8 wasn't too far behind, with a 0 to 60 miles per hour in 5.8 seconds and a top speed of 130 miles per hour. Popular options added to the muscle or comfort, like an automatic transmission, air conditioning stripes, a vinyl top, an air grabber scoop, and high-performance options like the Track Pack and Super Track Pack. For personalization, Plymouth offered a palette of 18 colors like Limelight and Scorch Red, and 7 interior shades so buyers could really make the car their own. While Plymouth's sales dipped slightly in 1969, the GTX remained a symbol of high-performance power combined with a touch of luxury. Perfect for the driver who wanted the best of both worlds. Number 5. The 1969 Pontiac GTO Judge, 13.6 seconds. The 1969 Pontiac GTO Judge stands out as one of the most iconic muscle cars of its era, capturing the hearts of young adults with its powerful design and memorable marketing. Aimed directly at the youth market, the GTO Judge hit the scene with a bold look that included a split grille and an eye-catching bright orange color, officially known as Carousel Red. Its debut was backed by an unforgettable ad campaign, with the tagline, "The Judge can be bought," adding a playful, rebellious edge to its appeal. The Judge wasn't just about style. It packed a punch with the Ram Air 3 V8 engine, which made it a force on the road. Designed to compete with Chrysler's popular Plymouth Road Runner, the GTO Judge also offered some unique features like a Hurst shifter, rally wheels, a rear spoiler, and prominent Judge decals, which made it easily recognizable and a favorite among muscle car fans. It featured a hood scoop that drivers could open or close, adding to the car's cool factor. Pontiac even introduced the Endura plastic bumper in previous GTO models, seamlessly blending the grille and concealed headlamps for a sleek front end. Curious how Pontiac came up with the Judge name? Interestingly, the name was inspired by a popular skit on the TV show Laugh-In, where the catchphrase, "Here come de Judge," resonated with audience. John DeLorean, a prominent figure at Pontiac and one of the masterminds behind the GTO, pushed the Judge model forward, wanting it to lead not only in performance, but also in style. DeLorean, known for his bold approach and marketing flair, had already left his mark with the original GTO in 1964. Considered one of the first muscle cars in America, along with the 1967 Firebird and the 1969 Grand Prix. Released in December 1968, the 1969 GTO Judge quickly made waves, with 6,833 coupes and a rare 108 convertibles produced. By 1970, as the design shifted, production dropped to 3,797 units, but the 1969 models remain especially collectible today. The GTO Judge, with its combination of raw power, style, and DeLorean's marketing genius, solidified its place as a beloved classic among car enthusiasts worldwide. Number 4. The 1969 Dodge Charger RT HEMI, 13.5 seconds. Alright, let's get into the story of the 1969 Dodge Charger 500, a car born from Chrysler's need to keep up on the racetrack. Back in 1964, Chrysler introduced the Race HEMI engine, and it immediately dominated drag strips and NASCAR circuits. But by the mid-60s, Ford and GM had started to bring their own powerful engines to the table, threatening Chrysler's edge. So in 1966, Dodge decided to bring in the Charger, combining the hot new fastback design with a full-sized HEMI-powered machine to capture fans' attention. Then in 1968, the Charger got a full redesign. This new model had a unique Coke bottle shape, a stylish recessed grille with hidden headlights, a flying buttress roof with a sloped rear window, and a refined tail end with minimal chrome, a combination that made it one of the best-looking Mopars of the decade. Sales exploded. But on NASCAR's banked tracks, the Charger hit a wall. Literally, an aerodynamic one. The car just couldn't cut through the air efficiently at speeds approaching 200 miles per hour. To solve this, Dodge's engineers got creative. For 1969, they made tweaks to reduce drag, fitted a coronet grille for a smoother front, and added a flush rear window to minimize lift. This redesigned Charger was called the Charger 500, in reference to the 500 units needed to qualify for NASCAR. In reality, only 392 Charger 500s were produced. Number 3. The 1968 Dodge Dart GTS, 13.2 seconds. The Dodge Dart GTS was a key player in Dodge's famous Scat Pack of muscle cars back in 1968. If you spotted a bumblebee stripe wrapping around the back, you knew it was part of this special lineup. The Scat Pack emblem, featuring a bee, was Dodge's way of making sure their muscle cars stood out from the crowd. The Dart GTS took the base Dart GT and upgraded it with a beefier suspension and, at its heart, a high-revving 340 cubic inch engine. But here's the twist. While a bigger 383 SID engine was available, most drivers went for the 340. It was lighter, just 89 pounds less than the 383, but it gave the GTS better handling and agility, a big plus on the road. In 1967, Dodge introduced the GTS version of the Dart, featuring a two-door hardtop and a convertible. By 1968, the GTS got a fresh look, with a 340 engine as standard, plus some signature touches, like the GTS logo on the hood fenders and rear deck. The hood got cool, simulated intake ports, and there was the famous bumblebee stripe, which came in red, white, or black, or you could choose a side stripe running the car's length. The 340 engine was a small but mighty powerhouse known as the Giant Killer. It was built with a 10.5-to-1 compression ratio, a durable forged steel crankshaft, and top-tier connecting rods that could rev up to 6,500 RPM. Other performance upgrades included a double-roller timing set, dual-point ignition, large cylinder heads, and a high-flow exhaust for maximum street power. A 600 CFM Carter 4-barrel carburetor topped it all off, giving the engine a smooth air intake. Dodge even customized the camshafts for automatic and manual transmissions. Each camshaft designed to give the GTS the best idle and performance, depending on the setup. The Dart GTS wasn't just powerful. It was Dodge's way of making muscle look and perform better than ever. Number 2. The 1969 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1, 13.2 seconds. This car was all about taking power and speed to a level that few other muscle cars could touch. It went beyond the already legendary 427 Yenko and even the fierce L88 Corvette right into the territory of true drag racing machines. Chevy's performance expert, Vince Piggins, wanted a Camaro that could take on the NHRA Superstock drag classes, so he authorized a special batch of 69 Camaros with the ZL1 version of the 427 V8 engine. This wasn't just any 427. While it shared some design with the powerful L88 engine, the ZL1 had an aluminum block, making it Chevy's first production engine of this type. Rated officially at 430 horsepower, insiders knew it pushed over 500 horsepower in reality, making it one of the most powerful engines Chevy ever offered to the public. And since the ZL1 engine was lightweight, about the same as a smaller 327 V8, this Camaro packed a serious punch without weighing down the car. Each ZL1 Camaro came loaded with top features, a cowl induction hood, front disc brakes, a choice of heavy-duty 4-speed manual or turbo hydromatic transmission, and a 10.1 posi rear axle. This setup, plus factory dual exhausts, allowed it to run low 13-second quarter-mile times. With added headers, slicks, and tuning, it could hit 11.6 seconds at 122 miles per hour, a record-breaking speed for any production Chevy. Of course, all this performance didn't come cheap. The ZL1 engine alone cost $4,160, which pushed the car's price up to $7,200. Huge money for the time. Chevy needed to build 50 for NHRA compliance, but ended up producing 69. While around 20 of these ZL1s went into competitive drag racing, the high price left many unsold, and some were even returned to Chevy. It wasn't until the early 70s that the remaining ZL1s finally found owners, cementing their place as rare, powerful legends in Chevy's history. Number 1. The 1969 Plymouth Road Runner A12, 13 seconds. This is one of the coolest muscle cars to come out of the late 60s. Released in February 1969, Plymouth upped the game by adding the powerful 440 cubic inch six-pack engine under the hood. This upgrade was packaged as the A12 option, which took the Road Runner from a cartoon character's namesake to a real performance beast. It featured a fiberglass hood, Edelbrock intake manifold, 3 Holley carburetors, and tough-looking Bear H-Series wheels. Motor Trend even crowned it Car of the Year in 1969, and it's easy to see why. The 440 A12 wasn't just cheaper than the mighty HEMI Road Runner, but it still delivered serious horsepower. 390 horsepower to be exact. It was the perfect middle ground between the basic 383 engine and the high-end HEMI, making it a smart buy for anyone looking to add some serious speed without breaking the bank. Plus, it wasn't just an engine swap. The A12 package came with upgrades to the intake, drivetrain, and body, all for an extra $462.80. A steal compared to the pricey HEMI option. The engine itself, often called the six-pack, was packed with performance-focused parts like an aluminum Edelbrock intake manifold, chromed valve stems, and heavy-duty valve springs. For those wanting a bit more, you could even upgrade the camshaft for an extra boost. Sadly, the A12 was only produced for 3 months in 1969, making it pretty rare. The NHRA rated the engine at an impressive 410 horsepower, and it even had the first production manifold made by Edelbrock. Every A12 Road Runner came with a unique lift-off fiberglass hood, secured by pins, which was rare for Mopar. It also came with Goodyear polyglass tires with red stripes, a Dana 4.11 1 differential and 11-inch drum brakes. This setup allowed it to hit the quarter mile in just 13.88 seconds at 106.13 miles per hour, according to Speed and Supercar magazine. The A12 option added about $462.80 to the Road Runner's base price of $2,945. Only 615 A12 Road Runners were made, with cooler options like Performance Red, Bahama Yellow, and Vitamin C Orange, among others. Inside, you could choose from just black or white with an optional vinyl top. If you could take any of these classic muscle cars out for a spin, which one would you choose and why? Leave your answers in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys soon.